Everyone. So we've started this webinar where we're trying to teach very easy steps to how create a machine, right? A virtual machine, which is obviously required these days to initiate any sort of projects. So we have Sai sir. He's a part of GK Solutions, and he's going to demonstrate how to create a very easy way on Google Cloud with a virtual machine. Sai sir, over to you.
Yeah, thanks. Hi, good morning to everyone. Am I audible?
Yes, sir, you're perfectly audible.
Okay, thanks. Let me share my screen. Yeah, can you please confirm as if you can see my screen?
Yes, it's visible.
Okay, yeah, thanks. And once again, good morning to one and all. This webinar is going to give you the basic understanding on how, as she told, you can create a virtual machine. So I believe everyone has the basic understanding on what is a virtual machine. And whenever we say a virtual machine, the virtual machine is so equivalent to the same laptop or the desktop, whatever we use. Okay, before we move towards the actual point, how do we create a virtual machine in the Google Cloud platform? I thought of sharing you some basic terminologies in terms of understanding on how the Google Cloud platform is and how easily we can create the virtual machine. Before moving to those things, let us try to understand some basic understanding on the cloud computing. As you can see, so whenever we say what is cloud computing, so every service provider, so whenever we say a service provider, he is the one who provides these different types of services. Whenever we say a service, it means that it is nothing but infrastructure as a service, platform as a service, software as a service. So basically, these are the three major services provided by each and every service provider. So whenever we say a service provider, obviously it starts with the Amazon Web Service, Google Cloud Platform, IBM Cloud. So these are the people who provide these different types of services. So whenever we say these services are provided by these service provider, they should have a very good cloud computing environment. So how do we know whether the service provider has a very good cloud computing environment? Here you can see in this slide. These are the features or the attributes that the service provider should have. The first and foremost point that you see here is on-demand self-service. So if, for example, if I say Google Cloud Platform has a well-defined cloud computing environment, they should have this on-demand self-service. What does it mean? No human intervention needed to get the resources. For example, if you are the user who is going to use the Google Cloud Platform, there is no middleman between the user and the service provider. That's what he can see. No human intervention needed to get the resources. That's what in general has been highlighted as on-demand self-service. Whenever my business is in need of any demand, I can get it directly from the service provider without any third person or without any middleman. That's what you can see. No human intervention needed to get these resources. Moving towards the next attribute, as you can see, broad network access. The Google Cloud Platform has a well-defined network access. What does it mean? From any geographical location by any device, you can get connected towards the Google Cloud Platform. For example, you can get connected towards the Google Cloud Platform through a mobile device or a laptop or a desktop or from any network. It implies that the Google Cloud Platform has a well-defined broad network access, as if the user or the client can access to the Google Cloud Platform irrespective of the geographical location. And moving towards the third important attribute, what we call it as an resource pooling. So the service provider has a well-defined resource. Whenever we say a term called a resource in cloud, It means that the resource can be in the form of either a hardware or a software. So the Google platform has a well-defined resource pooling through which the resources are shared in the form of virtual service towards the appropriate end user. Moving towards the last and foremost thing, what we call it as an rapid elasticity. What does it mean? I said just now, the resources are shared to the customer or to the client in the form of the virtual service. The virtual service has an inbuilt feature called elasticity. What does it mean? Some of the services that will enhance by itself automatically when there is a need. And when there is no need, it will automatically scales back to its original position. That's what we call it as an rapid elasticity. That's what you can see. Get more resources quickly as needed. And moving towards the last one, what we call here as pay as per you go. And you know very well, in cloud computing environment, we have a model of whatever the resources that you are using, you are going to pay only for them. So these are the 5 important basic attributes that each and every cloud computing environment should have. Of course, Google has a well-defined cloud computing environment through which it provides the services to any user who can use their service as if they can move their business workload towards the Google Cloud Platform. Hope, you understood the basic understanding on what is cloud computing. Let me move towards the important architecture that the Google Cloud Platform has. Why? Because whenever we say a virtual machine, it is nothing but you are going to rent a machine in the Google Cloud Platform, and you should know what are the available architecture through which you can create your own virtual machine. As I just listed, the 3 basic services that are provided by the Google Cloud Platform is nothing but IaaS. As you can see, compute engine. So compute engine is nothing but an important service which provides you IaaS, infrastructure as a service. Like that, you can say app engine is a service through which you can get the platform as a service. Like that, you have Google Kubernetes engine. In short form, we call that as an GKE, which is nothing but we refer that as an hybrid. Whenever we say hybrid, it is the combined form of IaaS and PaaS. And moving towards the next function, what we call it as an cloud functions. These are very interesting. Without the hardware and without the platform, I mean the runtime, I can still create my own code, which is in the form of cloud functions. The catchy term that you can see here is serverless. What does it mean? It doesn't need any real physical server to run your business workflow. So cloud functions basically execute in the form of event driven. When I say event, it executes automatically by itself when the event occurs. That's what we call it as cloud functions. Now, when I'm supposed to use the Google Cloud Platform, I decide in what architecture I'm going to deploy my business workload. In all these cases, obviously, you will come to know how effectively we can create virtual machine. And lastly, you can see in the list that has been given as managed services. So as I said just now, service is an important term again that is used in the cloud platform. And all these services are given to the user in the form of a virtual service. Whenever we say a service in the Google Cloud Platform as a managed service, it means that it has a number of features that is already built in. That's what we call it as managed service. Now, when you look at this slide here, you can understand what are the different available architecture that are in the Google Cloud Platform, and you decide which architecture matches to your business workload, and accordingly you can select the appropriate architecture where you can deploy your business workload into the Google Cloud Platform. Hope I can move forward. This is an important slide. Without understanding this, we cannot directly get into how do we create a virtual machine. And whenever we say, or this slide gives you the overall landscape of the available Google Cloud Platform in the entire globe. As you can see, the blue lines here are nothing but the network cable. And the blue dots that you see in the slide, we refer that as POP. POP stands for point of presence. What does it mean? Whenever from any network or any geographical location, when I want to get connected towards the Google's network, it happens through this point of presence. So from your network, the request goes towards the POP, and the POP in turn connects to the so Google's network. That's the way how we can understand what we mean with Google Cloud. So now I believe you understood the infrastructure, how the Google Cloud Platform is available to you. Moving forward, yeah, this is one more interesting and important term. After this, we will get into how do we create the actual virtual machine. And the entire landscape of the Google Cloud is divided in terms of regions and zone. Region is an important term, and again, zone is an important term. What is zone? Zone is nothing but the actual physical data center where we are going to deploy all our services in the Google Cloud Platform. So I believe you understood what is zone. Zone is nothing but the actual physical data center. The collection of zones makes us a region. So region is nothing but the cluster, the grouping up of zone, we call it as region. So the entire Google Cloud Platform is organized in terms of regions and zones. And interestingly, if you see, Google Cloud Platform has basically three major regions. We classify that as US region, Europe region, and APAC. APAC stands for Asia Pacific. So these are the three major regions. So every region can have more than one. That's what you can see the term here, multi-region. Let us take, for example, if you say Europe is a region, in Europe, they can have more than one region. That's what you can see, multi-region. And Google Cloud has its own standard naming convention. Whenever we say the Europe, or let us take, for example, there is a region called Europe-West 2. What does it mean? This is one of the region. Why? Because you should know the region and the zone. Why? Because whenever we deploy or think that you are creating a virtual machine, where do you place that virtual machine? So you need to select the region, and in the region you need to select the appropriate zone where you want to deploy the virtual machine. So whenever we say region, as per the slide here, you can see Europe-West 2. This is the naming convention of a particular region that is present in the Google Cloud Platform. And every region is divided in terms of at least a maximum or minimum of 3 zones and a maximum of 4 zones. It depends on the region that you are selecting. So in this slide, if you see, I refer a region as Europe-West 2. So whenever we say this Europe-West 2, you can see the zone. The available zone under this region is Europe-West 2-A. This is one of the zone, like that -B, like that -C. So -A is a zone, -B is a zone, and -C is a zone. So the entire hierarchy like this region is again divided in terms of zone. Every region can have a minimum of 3 zones and a maximum of 4 zones. And Google Cloud Platform is coming up with more and more regions and zones. So that's the way, being a user or a client, I should know what are the available regions and what are the available zone that the Google Cloud Platform has, where I can select the appropriate region and appropriate zone where I'm going to deploy my resources. Interestingly, the zones are interconnected with one another, and even the zone can be in the nearest building, or even it can span a distance of more than 100 kilometers. So the zones are interconnected with one another, and the region again can be divided in terms of zone. A region can have a minimum of 3 zones and a maximum of 4 zones. That's the way how important for a user to understand what is a region, and inside a region what are the zones that are present. Why? Because when I want to use the Google Cloud Platform where I'm going to create a virtual machine, I should select the appropriate region and the appropriate zone where the virtual machine, yeah, can be deployed. This is the way how we can understand the important term called region and zone. So, yeah, any questions? Anyone has any questions? Please do let me know. Let me check the question and answer here. Okay, so these are general questions. So any other questions? Technically, if you guys please do, yeah, post in the chat box where I can.
Sir, Arpit
Yeah.
Sharma is asking how this is helpful to us.
Yeah, see, now being a user or being a fresher or whoever you are, now the industry is moving towards the cloud platform. Industry in the sense I'm saying about the entire industry. So far, the working model in the industry is nothing but on-premises. What do you mean by on-premises? Think that, for example, I have my own IT company where I have my own physical server. So everything is under my control. That is very good. But in terms of cost, it is more and more investment that I'm supposed to do in order to manage the entire hardware and software. Now, instead of managing this by pouring my money, I can, yeah, get into the Google Cloud Platform. When I move towards the Google Cloud Platform, the entire costing goes down. So now almost all the companies, yeah, is moving towards the cloud platform. And for the next 30 to 50 years, yeah, the cloud is going to be the universe or being the trend of the IT industry. So now almost all the companies, now they have a plan of moving from the on-premises towards the Google Cloud Platform. I mean, they are moving towards the cloud platform. That's the way how you need to understand this technology. And if you are a fresher, definitely this is the starting point where you can directly jump into the cloud platform, where you can understand the working model, what are the different services that it is, and how effectively I can manage the running services in the Google Cloud Platform. And the entire growth from the IT industry is moving from the on-premises. On-premises, what I said, you have your physical own server rather than doing like that, where I'm going to do the same thing in terms of cloud platform. That's the way how it is very much useful to you if you start your career in the Google Cloud Platform. I hope I answered your question.
Yes, sir, he says.
Okay. Thanks. Hope, yeah, I can move forward. Yeah, this is interesting slide. With this, we will move towards, I will show you the way how you guys can get into the creation of virtual machine. And you can see just now I said what is region and what is a zone. You can see wherever, yeah, the blue circle. These are nothing but the regions with 3 zones. And wherever you see this white dot or circle, yeah, you can see these are nothing but future region with 3 zones, or there are some exceptions where the region can have 4 zones. So let us take, for example, if I am a client who is using or who is in the current Asia or India or anywhere, I can select the very closest region that matches to my business workload, where I can reduce the latency. That's the way how it is very important for each and every user to know the term called region and a zone. And in order to minimize the latency, the network traffic, I should select the appropriate region and the appropriate zone, which is very close to my proximity. That's the way how important to know the term what is region and what is zone. Yeah, so now hope you can see this is one of the diagrammatic representation of the physical data center of the Google Cloud Platform. For security reasons, Google Cloud never, yeah, shows you the actual physical location, but if you see this is the view of the Google's data center, and it uses the renewable energy, and one form of energy is converted into another form, and all the data centers of the Google Cloud platform is 100% carbon neutral. It means eco-friendly, and all the data centers are achieved with ISO 14001 certification. And it uses the river water in order to cool the entire data center, and one form of energy is converted into other form. That's the way how Google is very much committed in terms of environment responsibility. Okay, so hope with the other slide where I'm going to share, I will talk about the virtual machine. Yeah, so now I believe everyone can see my screen where I am displaying the virtual machine. Now we are into the actual discussion of what is virtual machine. Whenever we say this virtual machine, it is so simply we can understand in the Google Cloud platform, this is nothing but a service which helps you to create the appropriate virtual machine. Why we are focusing more on the virtual machine? In order to run my business workload, I need to create or I need to select the appropriate virtual machine. For example, think that you are planning to buy a laptop, right? So there are n number of brands and n number of configurations that are available in the market. So now being a user, what I should have a clarity of for what purpose I need this laptop. Is this laptop I'm going to use it for my study or for my research or for gaming activity? So you know for what purpose you are going to use the laptop. Accordingly, you select the appropriate brand and the appropriate configuration. The same story here. Whenever I want to create the virtual machine, I should select what type of virtual machine that matches to my business workload, where I can run that business workload in the virtual machine that is available in the Google Cloud platform. In order to create the appropriate virtual machine, it is very much done by using a service called Compute Engine. So Compute Engine is nothing but the IaaS service of the Google Cloud platform. Hope I can move forward. As you can see, whenever I create a virtual machine by using this Compute Engine, I can write my own code, or it supports any language. The application that you're going to deploy on top of the virtual machine, it can support any language. And you can see the usage model is IaaS, infrastructure as a service, through which you can create your own virtual machine. For example, you feel that you want to have a virtual machine that has 10 processor. Is it possible? Yes. In Google Cloud platform, we have a virtual machine that has 80 physical processor. So now, whenever we say the usage model is IaaS, you are going to take care of the infrastructure as a service. And you can see one important activity, what I said is scaling. What do you mean by scaling? Yeah, for example, think that you are supporting a client, or client wants to run their business, and the application should never down for any reason. I should see to that the application runs on 24/7 without any issues. And during the weekend, there will be more traffic where the users will access my application. So in order to support all these things, we have a feature of scaling. What do you mean by scaling? As you can see, whenever there is a huge traffic in my entire physical machine, I would see to that there should not be any slowdown of accessing the application, and there should not be any downtime. I implement a feature called scaling. So when there are more users, automatically it scales by itself automatically in order to support that much number of users. That's what in simple we can understand scaling. And that too, I can enable that in the form of auto scaling. For example, think that if the CPU utilization is 50%, I will increase the resources. This is what in simple we can understand what is scaling. And right from 10 to 1, there is more traffic, more and more people are accessing. So I implement, or it will automatically implement a feature called scaling. So it will enhance by itself automatically, and it will support as if the number of users. For example, after 2 to 4, I mean, from 2 p.m. to 4 p.m., there is no much traffic. And the utilization of the CPU falls below 50%. Automatically, it scales down. This is the simplest and interesting feature what we have in the virtual machine that you are going to create through this Compute Engine, what we call it as scaling. And how do I select what type of workload that matches to the virtual machine that I'm going to create with my Compute Engine? As you can see, The use case can be any workload, any type of business or any type of business application that you want to deploy in the Google Cloud Platform on the virtual machine. So I can create the appropriate virtual machine. By using that, I can run my business workload. This is so interesting, where we can understand how much important is to understand or to know more on this virtual machine. Okay, so whenever we say the virtual machine, what are the components that it is? If I ask you, what are the components that your laptop has? Everyone knows that, the same story here. So in general, the available predefined virtual machines that the Google Cloud Platform, or in simple, it supports the custom machine types also. For example, you can select the predefined virtual machines, or you can create your own virtual machine. That's what we call it as custom machine types. In all these cases, we have this virtual CPU. CPU, you know, right? Central Processing Unit, which is nothing but the processor, along with memory, along with storage. Whenever we say the storage is nothing but the disk. The disk is available in the form of PD. In simple, we call that as an PD. PD stands for persistent disk. And the disk, in which material, what is the actual material of this persistent disk? It can be in the form of HDD, hard disk drive, or it can be in the form of SSD. SSD stands for solid state drive. And I can attach the disk through the network port, or even it can be in the form of the local SSD. What do you mean by local SSD? As like in your desktop, the way how you attach the hard disk towards the motherboard, there will be a cable, right? Like that you can attach it. And if I don't want to use any of the predefined persistent disk, and again, we have interestingly one more storage that the Google Cloud Platform has, which is nothing but the cloud storage. And interestingly, we have the networking. You have the networking port. As you know very well, every laptop or every desktop has its own networking port through which you can connect towards the network. And that's the way how you can see, whenever we say a virtual machine, I should know about the processor, I should know about the memory, I should know about the storage, I mean the disk, I should know about the networking. And lastly, if you see, what is the boot image? I would like to boot my virtual machine, right? So your laptop has an operating system to get booted. Like that, the virtual machine has to have a boot disk or boot image to get booted. What are the available boot images that the virtual machine can be? It can be with the help of either Linux or Windows. The boot image that helps you to boot your virtual machine can be in the form of Linux or Windows. So in Google Cloud Platform, it is available with Linux or even Windows. You decide what type of boot image that you want to have. That's the way how interestingly we understand what are the actual components that the virtual machine has. It has the processor, it has the memory, it has the storage, it has the networking port, and of course it has the boot image. It can be in the form of either Linux or Windows. I hope you guys are following me. Any questions anyone has? Going good? Any questions?
So no questions so far. I proceed. If in case there are, I'll surely let you know. Right?
Sure. Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
Sure.
Thanks for your support. Hope I can move forward. Yeah. So there are a number of features that the virtual machine through which you create through the compute engine. Interestingly, yeah, I will let you know some of the points that you have. The first thing what you have here is preemptible or spot VMs. For example, yeah, let me put a general question. I'm asking or think that I need a laptop in order to test a new product that I'm going to develop. So what I can do so, and moreover, I should have a laptop with 0.5 memory. I should have the configured as one processor with 0.5 memory. Is it possible to buy a laptop in the market? No, but that is very much possible in the cloud platform, and especially in the Google Cloud Platform, what we call as preemptible. What do you mean by preemptible and spot VMs? You can get the virtual machine right now with lesser configuration. And the lifetime of the preemptible VM is only 24 hours of time. I don't want to use that virtual machine for a month, even for more than one day. I'm in a scenario, think that I'm in a scenario where I'm developing a product In order to test the product, I need a machine, and the machine should have the appropriate configuration, which I'm looking into. If that is the case, I can go by using, or I have an option in the Google Cloud Platform, which is in the form of preemptable and spot virtual machines. And the Google Cloud Platform is very much friendly in terms of building. As you can see, I will get 91% discount. For example, think that at this time, at this minute, I am creating a spot VM, and I'm going to demolish, or I'm going to deactivate that virtual machine within 5 minutes. Do I need to pay anything for Google Cloud Platform? No. So as I said, the preemptable VM or the spot VM, it has its own maximum lifetime is 24 hours. So don't think that all the VMs are like this. It is one type of VM. So no, sir, I would like to have a VM for a month. Is it possible? Yes. So you can opt for that one. So based on your need, you can select what type of virtual machine that matches to your workload. So one interesting thing that you can see here is preemptable and spot VMs, with it, which comes with no SLA. Normally, if you buy a virtual machine in the Google Cloud Platform, it comes with SLA. SLA is nothing but a service level agreement. You and the Google Cloud Platform will come to an agreement the way how things are. That's the way in simple I can say in SLA. But specifically for the spot VM and preemptable, it comes without SLA. And you can do the machine right sizing. For example, initially you got 2 CPU. You want to increase that in terms of 4 processor. Is it possible? Yes. And the interesting point here is no need to shut down the machine. No need to slow down. You can do things dynamically. That's what you can see, machine right sizing. So machine right sizing, for example, as I said, now I'm running a business for the 6 months. Now I feel that there are more and more traffic. I would like to upgrade my machine. Is it possible? Yes. Should I have to shut down my machine when I do the changes? No, you can do that dynamically. That's what you can see, machine right sizing. Like that, there is one more interesting feature that is supported by the virtual machine, what we call it as instance metadata and startup script. For example, think that my client doesn't have any business on Saturday, Sunday. So every Friday at 5 p.m., I should shut down the machine. And next week, Monday morning, 9 a.m., I should start my machine automatically. So what I can do, so I can write my own startup and shutdown scripts, which will do by itself automatically as if I can reduce the cost. That's the way. Other important feature that the compute engine. So compute engine is nothing but the IaaS service through which you create all these virtual machines. So since the compute engine has all these features, it is applicable for the entire virtual machine that we are creating. And another important thing, you can see live migration. What do you mean by live migration? I would like to move from one zone to the other zone. Because of my reason, because of some reasons, I would like to move from one zone to the other zone. So in that case, should I have to shut down my machine? No. That's what you can see, live migration. And auto restart. Just now I said. So Monday morning at 9 a.m., it should start by itself automatically. How do I do that? I can write that in the form of a policy and I can schedule that. So everything is possible, into the virtual machine that you are going to create it through the compute engine. And OS patch management. For example, I would like to upgrade my boot image. You can set up your flexible scheduling as if there is no much traffic, and at that time you can do the scheduling. And in terms of building, how Google Cloud Platform is very much supportive in terms of friendly pricing. As you can see, it gives you different types of discount. We call that as a sustained discount and committed discount. What is sustained discount? Think that you are using the Google Cloud Platform where you run your business for a month. Definitely you get a 30% of the discount on the total bill. And if the usage is for more than 6 months, you get a sustained discount. Along with it, you get some more discount. That's what we call it as a committed discount. That's the way how interesting you can see what are the features that the virtual machine that I'm going to create it through the compute engine. What are the features that it is? So yes, there are n number of virtual machines. Probably when I connect to the console, I will let you know. Now, the last point here, what I'm trying to say here is what are the different ways in which I can connect to the Google Cloud platform. There are multiple ways through which you can get connected yourself towards the Google Cloud platform. One, we call it as an console. Console is nothing but the graphical user interface. This is one method through which you can get connected towards the Google Cloud platform. The other one, what we call it as a command line interface. Through command, I can get connected towards the Google Cloud platform. And the third method is programmatically, I can write my code in such a way that I can get connected towards the Google Cloud platform. This is third method. And the last method is through mobile app. We have a separate version for Android and iOS. You can go to the appropriate Play Store and you can download it. Through mobile, you can get connected towards the Google Cloud platform. So basically, these are the four different methods through which you can get connected towards the Google Cloud platform. So hope it's time for me to show the way how you can create the virtual machine. Just give me a minute. Let me connect to the console now. Just a minute. I am getting into the console now. Now, if you see here, I am getting into the console. So every console you need to sign in with the given credentials. I'm just copying the username and password, and I'm just getting into the console. Now, if you see, this is the Google Cloud platform, what we call it as a console. Now you see here, I have connected towards the Google Cloud platform. And you can see here, this is the navigation menu. Navigation menu is nothing but all the services are arranged with you in alphabetical order. If I click this, it will show you all the services. Now you can see there is a service called Compute Engine. Under the Compute Engine, if you see VM instances, I need to select, or I'm supposed to create the virtual machine now. So how do I do that? You log into the Google Cloud Platform console. This is nothing but the web user interface. So I go to the navigation menu. When I open the navigation menu, I have an option called Compute Engine. Inside the Compute Engine, I have the VM instances. I'm going to create the virtual machine instance now. So whenever you want to create a virtual machine, here you can see the option for you to create the virtual machine. As you can see, create the instance. I click this option, create instance, which makes me to create that instance. So I'm going to create my virtual machine. So every virtual machine, you should give a name. The name should be in lowercase. So some unique name that you can give it across, as if I'm going to give a name for my virtual machine. And interestingly, you can see the region and the zone. This is very important. This virtual machine with this name called instance-1-psi123. It should be in lowercase. Now, where you are going to deploy this virtual machine? So I need to select the appropriate region and the appropriate zone. So I select the region. If I open this list box, as I said already, you can see America. I mean, US is a region. And if you scroll down, you can see Europe. And if you can see Middle East is the upcoming new region that it is. And you can see APAC. So now Google Cloud Platform has come with these regions. Now, based on your need, you can select the appropriate region. For example, I'm selecting US-Central 1. If I select this US-Central 1, under that, what are the zones that it is? If you open this list box where you can see, it has -A, -B, -C, and -F. These are the available zones. Why? Because without selecting the region and zone, you cannot deploy the virtual machine. You need to have a clarity on the appropriate region and the appropriate zone. For example, think that you are running your business in India, but you can select the region as APAC. Under that, you can deploy your business workload. For example, I can go by having US-Central 1-A. This is for example. Now I have selected the appropriate region and I have selected the appropriate zone also. And if you see here, it shows the rough estimate. Monthly estimate that gives you the billing. Okay, so far I haven't selected the machine configuration. Whenever we say a virtual machine, there are n number of machines that are available in the Google Cloud Platform. As you can see, general purpose machine, compute optimized machine, memory optimized, and you can see something like GPU. I believe you guys might have come across this term called the GPU, graphical processing unit. Mostly if the workload is related to any of the machine learning or any of the things that are related to more graphics, then I can go by selecting the GPU. Okay, so now you can see under the general purpose machine, we have the machine type. Machine type comes with a series. If you open the list box, you can see there are n number of series. So you need to select, or you are looking for Intel, then you can select the C3. So like that, there are n number of series that are available. I go by having this E2 as the series. So when I scroll down, you can see under this E2 series, again, I have the machine type that comes with E2 medium. So it means that I'm selecting the machine of my virtual machine that has 2 processor with 4 GB of memory. No, sir, I want to have more than that. You can select it by opening the list box and you can select. As you can see, I have standard machines, I have high memory machines, I have high CPU machines. So now you should have a clarity what type of machine that you want. No, sir, I don't want to go with any of the preset. I would like to go for custom. Then select the custom. Where you can, select the number of cores that you want, whether you want to have a shared core. What is shared core? It means that I'm going to go with the processor will share the workload. So like that, you can select the appropriate machine that you want and scroll down. Here we talk about the boot image. So now, as if this virtual machine that I selected comes with the boot image called Debian GNU Linux. No, sir, I want to go with Windows. What I'm supposed to do? Then give this change. If you open that list box change, as you can see, there are more number of boot images, public images, custom images. Custom means, no, sir, I would like to go with my own image. Then you can select the custom image. Whenever we say this public image, you can see the operating system. So Debian, you can see it is nothing but the open source. So you can select CentOS, Fedora, Fedora, CoreOS, OpenSUSE, Linux, all these are nothing but the different flavors of the open system called what we call as Linux. So you select accordingly whatever you want. Or if you want to scroll down, you can see, this something Ubuntu, Windows Server, whichever you want, you can select it. I go with the Debian. And the version and the boot disk type, I would like to have the persistent disk, and the size of this is 10 GB by default. And I select. Now I've selected my boot image. Let me scroll down. And I should allow the users to get connected towards the virtual machine, right? So I allow the HTTP traffic. As you know very well, most of the traffic in the internet will be in the form of either HTTP or HTTPS. HTTPS means it should be authorized. S stands for SSL layer. So let me enable this allow HTTP traffic. So now I am creating. So in so simple, I have created a virtual machine with the appropriate machine configuration, with the appropriate boot image, and with the appropriate features. It is more or less like buying a desktop or buying a laptop. So now if you see how instantly it's creating. So this status, yeah, it comes right now, and the status will be running. It depends on the network from which you are getting connected. Within minutes, your virtual machine is ready where you can deploy. In the traditional model, if you see, whenever I want to do any change in terms of the hardware or in terms of the software, it takes its own time. Or sometimes it may be more than 6 months also, or it may be more than 1 month. Here things are very easy. Now I can do the change to my machine in terms of minutes. As you can see, my VM is ready. See, it shows the status is up and it's running. See here, the instance is running. This is my instance name. And this instance is deployed in this zone. Like this, I can get more information. And every virtual machine has to have the internal and the external IP. Yeah, so when the users wants to connect towards my virtual machine, I can share this external IP through which they can get connected. Or if I want to connect to this virtual machine, I can click this SSH. Why I'm going with the SSH? Because the boot image that I've selected is the Debian, the Linux flavor. If it is Linux flavor, then I go with SSH. If it is Windows, I go with RDP, remote desktop protocol. So this is the way how I can get connected towards my virtual machine. So this is so simple where you understood how easily I can create the virtual machine and immediately you can deploy your business workload. So now moving towards cloud platform makes the time very less. Whenever you want to deploy your workload in the traditional on-premises, it takes even 30 days, a month. Now the time is reduced. How soon you can start your business? For example, yeah, a client wants to start their business. How soon they can do so? They can do so within minutes because of the cloud. And that's the way how interestingly you can understand the power of cloud. And as I said, the next era will be the cloud era, where each and everything will be running in the cloud. That's the way how you can understand the power of cloud. And there are a number of service providers, and Google Cloud Platform is the topmost service provider through which you can get to know things very easily. So that's the way how you see the demo where I have created the appropriate virtual machine based on my configuration. So there are more and more features are available. Just so simply, I made you guys to understand how effectively I can create a virtual machine in simple steps. Yeah, any questions towards this discussion, please do let me know.
Yes, students, in case you have questions, I have answered a few questions because some people were confused whether it's a first lecture. No, dear, this is not your first lecture. This is just a glimpse of what you will be learning in the advanced subjects that we will be taking up in BTech Cloud, with BTech with Cloud Computing with Google. And Sai sir would be one of our trainers, right? So in case you still have any questions, you can ask.
Uh, I just want to answer this one question of Aishujan. So, yes, this recording, I mean, this session is already recorded and will be put on the YouTube and on the site as well. So you can just check there on the YouTube and on the site, that is lpu.in. And I would like to request, if anyone has any other question, you can just write in the Q&A box so that our expert here can answer the same. Arnav, the YouTube, okay, so I'll just give you the site. I'll just a minute. Okay, so I've posted a site, right? So please click on there, and you'll be seeing the options of upcoming webinars and past webinars, and under that you will be seeing view YouTube recording option. So please click on that, and you'll be guided to YouTube page as well. Ma'am, Gunjit ma'am, there's one question from Gonthina Dinesh. So it says, what programming language will be taught in the first semester? I mean, the students are very curious to know.
Okay, so Dinesh, first of all, which programming language, that would depend on what sort of things or subjects you have taken in your 12th, right? So some of the students would have done the languages beforehand. So yes, accordingly, the syllabus will be there for the students, but most probably it would be Python and C programming, because we want to start with scratch. So it would start with Python as well as C programming, because these are your scratch languages. That means you can start them from basic, very easy to understand. And you do need the principles to build up for the upcoming languages. That would be Java, C++, and other languages that you want to learn.
Right. Okay, I believe, ma'am, we're done with the questions, and
Definitely.
we have no more queries here. So with
Yes.
ma'am, sir, I would like to thank you for coming in here, for joining here. And if you don't want to add anything to it, I just want to take your permission to wrap this webinar.
Sure.
Sure.
Size, definitely, right.
Yeah.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, ma'am, for joining
Yeah.
in. And
Thank you, Manchi.
Thank you.
And at last, I want to thank to all the participants also for coming in, for joining us here, and for interacting with us and giving in your questions. So with this, I take your leave and meet you soon in the next webinar. And until then, stay safe and stay healthy. And thank you so much for joining. So thank you, ma'am.